I am Kerry Cradit. Welcome to the office. I'm one of the practitioners here. I appreciate you coming tonight. I'm going to try to give you some ideas about things that might help better your nutritional status and better your overall health. I'll try to make some things that are easy changes you could do. I'll give you some diet ideas and hopefully just give you some tools that you can use sooner versus later to improve your health. I have been a practitioner here since 2011, but I started as a patient here myself in 2006. So I've been around for a long time. I was Dr. Schmidt's assistant in the beginning, so I learned a lot from him, and then transitioned into being a practitioner myself. So this has been, I've been here a lot of years now and love helping people, so hopefully I can help you a little bit more tonight too. So what I often ask people in the beginning of care is there something about your health you want to change, or what is giving you a problem about your health? If there's nothing that you feel like needs to change, when a practitioner or someone recommends these new ideas, if you don't feel the need to change, then it's kind of a pointless recommendation sometimes. So if somebody feels good, there isn't often a need for change. It's when we start to feel bad or have some symptoms that we know something needs to change, but we don't always know what. So that's what we're here to help with, is the what, to help you know what you can do to change and get better with your health. So, you know, what is bothering you about your health and what can you do about it? So sometimes it's just arriving here in the office, but sometimes you might know, okay, I get headaches every time I eat nuts. Okay, that's a very simple change. You just don't eat the nuts anymore because you already know the thing that's giving you the problem. So sometimes the change is easy. Not saying giving up something's easy, but sometimes it's a little trickier, and we can help you find out what that is. So then I tell people it's great to have a plan, and it's great to have a way you're going to do it, and then you actually have to do it. So you can make a plan and you can have a thought about what you're going to do, but then you actually have to start. So just pick a spot and start. It could be a really small thing, it could be a really big thing, but if there's something you can do to improve your health, do it. So the things that follow are a few things you can do now, sooner versus later, to help you with your health. So in short, the body uses protein, fat, water, vitamins, and minerals for energy and to repair tissue. There are essential fatty acids, there are essential amino acids or proteins, there are no essential carbohydrates. So many people, when I say that, think like, well, does that mean I can't eat any carbohydrates? That is not at all what I'm saying, but I'm saying they aren't essential to your body. Your body can do processes with protein and fat being adequate. So we want to use those foods as our main source of fuel. That's what will help repair tissue. I'm going to write something down that's not in here that we only kind of more recently learned about. PTOER.com stands for protein to energy ratio, and this is a calculator that's online that can be used to see if your food is going to burn more like a sugar or a carbohydrate, or more like fuel to the body and be more fat burning. So we really like this resource. The other one that goes with it is burn fat not sugar.com. They're kind of, I guess, sister sites, so to speak. We like burn fat not sugar because there's lots of pictures. So it's not a lot of heavy, there is a lot of good information, but it's a lot of pictures, so it can give people ideas what to eat. Give you a lot of kind of tools and know what to eat. So it's just plates, pictures of plates with food on it. So I like anything that will give me new ideas for when I'm getting bored. Sometimes I'm fine with eating the same thing over and over, but every once in a while I need to shake it up a little bit. So that's a good resource for that. The goal is to have adequate fat and protein to be utilized by the body and limit your refined sugar sugar and carbohydrate intake. If you have evolved your diet at all from a standard American diet to something better, that is fantastic. That is so good. But sometimes even just standard American to the next step is a hard step for people. So sometimes the very first step that we tell people is just reduce your white sugar, refined carbohydrate content. Just make that first step. It doesn't have to be that you dive in head first to a low carb, high fat or ketogenic diet. If someone is in a very poor state of health or in a dangerous situation with their health, with a cancer or something like that, going deep into one of those therapeutic diets can be beneficial and very much recommended. But if you're just trying to improve your health, this is that whole just take a step. Just start by decreasing the refined carbohydrate intake first. And I usually am telling people at their first visit, just start eating some healthy food, and we'll give you some ideas on what those are too. Like I said, some of this might be too basic for some of you. But adequate protein, good fats, lots of vegetables, and just don't eat products. That's my next picture. So basically, they're kind of changing it up a little bit, but if you shop the outside of the grocery store, you're gonna find real food. So you walk in, you turn, it's usually your vegetables and your fruits. Sometimes there's some deli things, there's usually eggs and dairy around the outside. You're gonna find your real foods. It's down the aisles where you find the products. So what I tell people is that the more you can stay out of the aisles, you might have to go down there for toilet paper, things like that, but the more you can stay out of the aisles, the less you're gonna be eating products. Grocery stores are kind of catching on to that, and sometimes they put their stuff on the end caps too to catch you, but that's one way to do it, is shop the outside of the store. This is a quote from Weston A. Price: "Life in its fullness is Mother Nature obeyed." So if we can eat things from nature, we're going to do a lot better with our bodies. Factory foods are not Mother Nature's foods. So the next thing that I'll talk about is fatigue, because I would say 80% of the people that come into this office or are starting to be concerned about their health, one of their main concerns is low energy. There's lots of different things that can cause that. Nutritional reasons and organs that can be causing it are a lot. There's a lot of different things that can be the cause. So certainly eating a better diet will help most people with their energy. But there are some organs that can go out of balance that can be a cause of some low energy and fatigue as well. So the thyroid lives up in the neck, is a hormonal organ. It loves minerals, and we, especially in Michigan, we're part of the goiter belt. It used to be kind of commonly known, I don't think they say that much anymore. Our soil is iodine deficient, so even if we ate really well and a lot of things from the soil, we might still be iodine deficient. So the thyroid loves iodine. It's a whole lecture in and of itself. But iodine can really help with energy, and most people do have a little bit of thyroid imbalance because of if they live here in the Midwest. If you're more on coast, a little closer to the sea, sometimes a little less. But thyroid is very important, and its minerals that it needs can be depleted by stress. So you lack some of these minerals because of stress being high, and then you never are really putting them back in unless you actively try. What I tell people about thyroid fatigue, usually people, when their thyroid is off, they will mostly get a lot of things done through the day. They might have like decent energy through the day. They can get things done, but when they get home at night or stop and sit, they'll crash. They'll actually, it's like, okay, I get home at night and I lay on the couch and I am out. That's sometimes a more thyroid fatigue. It's not all through the day I'm having to push through. That's more adrenal fatigue. So that's another hormonal organ. Adrenals sit up in the back, so kind of above the kidneys there. The adrenals are our fight or flight organ. They give us energy in times of stress. They're meant to be used short term. They're meant to, our body should use our adrenals when we're trying to run away from a bear or run really fast from something silly. So if that's not happening, your adrenals aren't necessarily meant to be the main organ that's giving you energy. With our lifestyles now, almost all people are stressing their adrenals out with just, whether it be, they're doing endurance type training, exercise, their job is stressful, balancing life and kids and family and everything else. Our adrenals just get a little bit of extra work and extra stress. Adrenals tend to make you feel tired all the time. It's one of those tireds also that you're tired all day and then you lay down to sleep at night and you can't sleep. It's brutal. That's more like adrenal fatigue. So you're tired all the time and feel like you just can't even do anything, and then you lay down and can't fall asleep. So that's a more adrenal fatigue. Adrenals love B vitamins. Adrenals love vitamin C. Adrenals love salt. So good salts like a Celtic sea salt or a Himalayan salt are really good for the adrenals. So these are all things that we can help people with, because everybody would have a different need potentially, or a different reason why their adrenals might need support. Lots of great adrenal herbal support too, but these are just some things that are more basic in this lecture. Another part of the body or an organ that can cause fatigue is the frontal lobe, this part of the brain. It's very much impacted by stress. So again, when stress is high, your B vitamins get depleted. So same as with the adrenals. So your B vitamin status sometimes needs to be higher or met. It's one of the most easy to deplete nutrients. It often is deficient in people. Also uses minerals, so that's another important frontal lobe function supplement. Heart can make people tired too if that's not doing well. Dr. Schmidt has lots of great YouTube videos on lactic acidosis and how that happens and the need for B vitamins. Again, a whole topic in and of itself. But B vitamins for the heart, sometimes vitamin C, magnesium can be great for the heart as well. So just some different ideas of organs that can cause fatigue and some of the things that can support them too. Sugar. So white refined, when I talk about sugar in this regard, I am talking about white refined sugar. So the things that turn rapidly into sugar can be problematic. But for this, we're really talking about white refined sugar. So when you are tired, or when someone's tired, they will crave sugar because it gives you fast energy. The thing is that energy is not sustainable. It's an energy that will crash. And when it crashes, when your blood sugar goes down, then it's almost like that need for that sugar will go high again later on. It's a cycle. It's kind of like a vicious cycle. So it's with those energy increases and then plummets, it gets worse and worse and worse. You'll crave more sugar as your energy is spiking and dropping. So sugar also depletes mineral status. It depletes your B vitamin status. It's one of the main things that can do that. So the less sugar, the more stable your blood sugar will be, the more stable your energy is too. Sugar causes inflammation in the body. Lots of very good information on sugar and carbohydrates in general on the Weston A. Price website. So westonaprice.org, you've got it in your little flyer. There's a great resource for true food information. So a little more about sugar there. If you're craving sugar, things you can do are eat good protein and fat. So eating more good things to nourish your body if you're craving sugar. It does give you a more sustainable energy. So meat, eggs, chicken, fish, nuts and seeds, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, butter. These are all good things. Olives, if I don't have those on there, are a great snack. So those type foods will keep your energy and blood sugar more stable and give you better nutrition to keep you going longer. Use Celtic sea salt on your food and also add it to water to balance your electrolytes. So the ratio is 1/8 of a teaspoon to 20 ounces. You don't have to do it in every cup of water you drink through the day, but even if you do it in 1 or 2, it's a great trace mineral addition. And there is something different about putting the salt in your water versus salting your food. So it's fine to salt your food, but when it's in the water, you're actually helping that fluid get into your cells a little bit more too. So I've had patients say I had one person say that was the best recommendation I ever gave her. And I thought, wow, So just a pinch of salt in your water, especially depending on the kind of water you drink. So a distilled water or reverse osmosis water is devoid of minerals often, so putting those minerals back in can really make a difference in health and how someone feels. So just throwing a pinch of good salt in there. Kelp and sea vegetables are a really good source of iodine. Some people do not like those, so then sometimes you have to supplement in some iodine, but they are a good source of iodine if you want to try to get a lot of nutrition from your foods. Nutritional yeast is a good source of B vitamins, so you can buy this and people will sprinkle it on their salads, or they'll sprinkle it on to foods they're eating because it is a good source of B vitamins. Eating more vegetables. We are talking a little bit more lately in this office about carnivore type diets and utilizing the correct amount of protein and fat. I can't believe I'm going to say this. Not everyone tolerates vegetables well. So when I say eat more vegetables, I do say it with a little bit of consideration to the individual. But in general, broad recommendation, most people don't eat enough vegetables. But there are some that people are sensitive to. So often, I have a lot of patients that have the idea that it's a vegetable, it shouldn't be giving me trouble, but it can. So you have to also listen to the cues of your body, even with some things like vegetables. If you're having a problem with it, you gotta stop it, and then wait a minute, 3 weeks usually, and then restart it and see how you feel. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, some of the, spinach, some of the kales, leafier greens, cabbage, these can be problematic for people with sensitive thyroids, and they are hard for some people to digest. So I do tell people, listen to your body a little bit and see how you feel on these foods. But a lot of times, just standard American diet, people are thinking they're eating a lot of fruit because it's easy, but not a lot of vegetables. So it is one of the first recommendations I give people is just try to increase your vegetable intake. But if you don't feel great on it, don't worry too much about it. Supplements that can help here with craving sugar, sometimes our fish oils, B vitamins, lots of different minerals, specifically iodine and vitamin D can sometimes help with sugar cravings too. I mentioned Weston A. Price, so just another kind of bigger blurb for Weston A. Price. They have apps that you can use in the grocery store for your shopping and things to just give you some food ideas too. So a great resource. Good information on soy, good information on cholesterol, why saturated fats aren't necessarily a bad thing, so good resource. Problems caused by white refined sugar. Sugar can make your immune system not work as well as it should, so it suppresses the immune system. It causes inflammation in the body. Organs swell for 3 days when you eat white refined sugar. So everything can swell, your intestines, your liver, any place you have inflammation, everything can swell with it. It is sugar that raises triglycerides and cholesterol in the body. So fat got the bad rap. It is sugar that absolutely doesn't. So this is why we tell people don't worry so much about getting your good fats in and drop your white refined sugar, and then those numbers almost always do better. Sugar causes problems with focus, attention, mood, energy, because it depletes B vitamins and minerals in the body. And it is addictive, in case you never tried to get off of it. It is addictive. There is a good book called Little Sugar Addicts. It is written for parents trying to get their kids off sugar. But I like it as a resource for everyone because it just gives some good tips about getting off of it, kind of usable everyday tips. But if you do have a child you're trying to get off of it, it's a really good resource for getting some tips on that. I tell people buy the best quality food that you can find and afford. So this might be different at different times in your life. It might be different depending on what you're doing. It might be different if you're on vacation. So you're trying to always find the best quality you can find and afford. So if I'm traveling and I don't have access to a good grocery store, like Harbor Farms or a Plum Market or a Whole Foods. I'm just gonna go in a normal grocery store and I might get some salami and cheese from the deli, I might get some olives if they have an olive bar. That's not gonna be necessarily as good of quality as I would want, but in a scenario like that, it's better than driving through a drive-through. So that's my whole best quality you can find and afford, because it's not always gonna be ideal, but you're trying to do as best you can in certain scenarios. So that's why I say that. The resource here is ewg.org. It stands for Environmental Working Group. So every year they do a Dirty Dozen and a Clean 15 list. The Clean 15 are things you can get away with, so to speak, not doing organic. So if somebody is trying to save money or they don't want to buy every single thing organic, the Clean 15 are things you can kind of get away with not doing organic. It's usually things with thicker skin or that are grown in different places. So those are, and they change their list every year. The Dirty Dozen are things that ideally, if you can get organic, you should try. Because these are thinner skin things, they're things that are often contaminated or they grow close to the ground, in the ground, so that can be, these are just the things, if you can avoid them, do. It is a great resource too for body care products. They do a sunscreen evaluation or database every year, so you can type things in and see how your products rank as far as health versus are they pretty toxic. You can see that, and you can also just use the database to see like what would be better if I just went shopping. So it's a great resource. I like it a lot. This is a general list of what I consider to be good food choices, maybes, and just plain old avoid. So basically in the good choices, you have any meat you want, eggs, chicken, fish. If somebody's allergic, you should mostly still follow what your allergens are. I do have nuts and seeds on the good foods list. However, they are not good for everyone. They are a bit hard to digest. They are often viral, and they are often fungal flaring. So a lot of these immune challenges love nuts and seeds. So while they are healthy and sometimes a good transitional food, if somebody is craving sugar or trying to improve their diet, I tell people don't rely on them too heavily. They just can be problematic and they are hard to digest. Soaking nuts and seeds is beneficial and makes them more bioavailable and can help with some of that kind of toxicity with them. But I put them on the goods list, but just know that's not always great for everybody. Same with beans and legumes. They are sometimes hard for people to digest, but they are a healthy food. These are real foods, so they are healthy, but just know that if it's not going well, that could be one of the problematic foods. All vegetables, other than what I just said, are pretty good. We've got coconut oil is healthy, butter, the nut oils are good, extra virgin olive oil, palm oil, avocado oil are okay. I'm gonna have to change this list because stevia, I'm starting to wonder about sometimes too. Many of my patients seem sensitive to stevia. It is an herb. It is a sweetener alternative that we have recommended here for a long time, but not everyone seems to do well on stevia. There does seem to be some digestive distress for some people with it, so that's an individual one too. So I'm gonna have to kind of swap this list around a little bit, knowing what I am learning of late. The maybes are maybes, not because they're poor food choices, but because they are a little more higher allergenic. So for some of them. Fruit is a maybe because if someone is trying to do a lower carbohydrate diet or they are pre-diabetic or something like that, then fruit can even be a problem for somebody who is hovering on a pre-diabetic state. That's why it's on the maybe list. It is a real food. It is potentially healthy, but most people will gain weight with fruit, even healthy people. And it's sugar. At the end of the day, it just rapidly turns into it is sugar. So that's why it's on the maybe list, not because it's not healthy. The dairy products, cheese, and milk products, many people are just sensitive to dairy. So it's a maybe because that's an individual case-by-case thing. raw honey, maple syrup, these natural sugars, which are truly healthy. I don't like to use the word natural because a lot of cereals and things like that will say natural on the label. Natural means absolutely nothing in the grocery store. That means nothing. It's not. They can say natural about a lot of. They can say natural, I think, about Cheerios. Because it's natural. So that's not really a good word to use if you're trying to find healthy things. But these sugars, I'm saying natural sugars, they're found in nature. They're usually okay, again, unless someone is trying to lose weight, pre-diabetic, things like that. We would want to use these sugars as things just short term or every once in a while, more like treats versus day in and day out with the natural sugars. Coconut crystals, monk fruit, date crystals, these are all, I would say, holistic alternative sweeteners that can be used instead of white refined sugar, but again, should still be used in limited quantity because they'll make you crave sugar too. Whole grains should be used on a limited basis, even by somebody in good health, because they're just a bit inflammatory also. And then it just plain avoids white refined sugar, artificial sweeteners, fruit juice, because it's kind of just like soda pop, GMO foods, soy, canola oil, and margarine. Those are my avoids. So I try to keep the good choices more than your not so good choices or avoids so that you get lots more things that you can do versus not. Any questions on this list? This might be too small in your handout, so I made the last page this in bigger form. This is meal ideas for the month. This handout came about probably about 4 or 5 years ago when we did a lecture geared toward helping people with their food choices, just giving them a bunch of ideas about food. So we kind of evolved a lecture about it. I started using a food calendar when my kids were little. It helped me to plan, it helped me to buy my groceries in advance, and it helped us to know kind of what we were doing for the week. Because when we didn't have a plan, we were just like anybody else, we would run and get a pizza, or we'd run through a drive-thru. So when we had a plan, I could buy the things ahead and we could have the things we needed in our house so that we could have good foods. This is basically just dinner ideas, or I guess it could be lunch. But it's meant to really give you ideas and a starting place. I have lots of patients who ask for a food, I want a food diary. I want to know exactly what I should eat. It's the hardest thing to give someone ever, because what you can do logistically with your lifestyle, what you like to eat, these are all things that greatly impact what you should take in. So this is meant to get you thinking. It's meant to get you to make your own food calendar so that you can plan too. If a month is daunting, do a week at a time, because then you can just have a week of planning and have some good ideas for feeding your family or feeding yourself too. Basically, this is the main course, so to speak, and then at the bottom it just says add a vegetable, add the side dishes, and then you've got your meal. So this does come in bigger form for you, so you have some ideas. And I do have, if anybody wants it at the end, I didn't put them in the handout, but I've got a low carb, high fat food plan too, that's more of an interchangeable, like it's a several breakfasts, several lunches, several dinners, and you can just pick and choose. It's not really laid out exactly the same, but it was my low carb, high fat food idea plan. So I've got that up here for after. A couple more things that you can do just to quickly improve your health, or this is the things you can do now to improve. I tell everybody, filter your water, your drinking water, and your shower water. So chlorine and fluorine are toxic. FluorideAlert.org is a great resource for information on this. We like the Berkey water filter because it also it takes out fluoride, it takes out chlorine, and it takes out even some of the spores, like bacterial spores and things like that in the water, so it's a great resource. If you want a water more to carry around with you, Mountain Valley is currently the cleanest water I know of. That has kind of changed over the years, so I try to monitor that, but currently Mountain Valley spring water is the best bottled water. It comes in a glass bottle. I have seen and heard that it can be delivered to your house in cases or even in the big, they have theirs in a big glass, I don't know what the thing that you put on the receptacle, and you can even filter it like that. I don't know those words a lot. I did not know those words. The big filter thing. Jug! Thank you so much. I was like, what is that big thing called? It's a big jug. And you know, then you can get the little spigot to take it out with. And then a shower filter. Aquasana.com is a good source for shower filters. Often it's just something you can screw right onto your shower head, taking some of the chlorine and toxins out of your shower water too. Because our skin it's an organ of elimination, but we also take things in through our skin, toxins. So filtering your shower water, very beneficial, very helpful to most people too, especially if you have skin problems. Immune support that you can do sooner versus later. Consider taking a vitamin D, especially in Michigan, especially through the winter. Maybe now as we're coming into spring, not as big of a deal, but certainly through the winter in Michigan, D is very important. Ask your doctor for a D level. That's how you'll know if you need it or not. It usually is an add-on test on most blood work. It's not in the general CBCs and things like that. So you might have to ask your doctor for a vitamin D level so you know your levels. Essential oils are good for diffusing, topical, even some are food grade, so they can be used internal if you start to feel sick. Those are a great resource. And good hand washing techniques without the use of antibacterial soaps. Dr. Mercola is a good resource for information on this. Triclosan, I'm going to say that correctly, is kind of proven toxic, so he's a good resource on that. So just using regular soap, using good hand washing techniques is a very good prevention method as well. Switching from traditional or commercial home care products and skincare products to more natural is a step in the right direction. I tell my patients, don't just go through your cupboards and throw everything away and try to start from scratch. You will cost yourself a lot of money really fast, and sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. So what I have always done is, as I'm running out of something, whether it be a food or a skincare product or a home care product, I just buy something better the next time. So when I'm going to buy my cleaning products, I buy better now. I don't necessarily buy the commercial cleaning products. I try not to name any of them because this will be on YouTube, so I'm trying to just stay neutral on that. Switching from antiperspirant to natural deodorants is wildly important. Most antiperspirants have aluminum and other toxic things, so even just switching to a more natural deodorant is key. I do tell people in the beginning of that switch, you will most often stink. It is a hard transition as your body is trying to detox the aluminum out, and as it's getting rid of toxins through that pathway. So often people will say that they have more body odor when they transition. That doesn't continue once your body has detoxed more efficiently, and we help with detox things along the way. I mentioned the EWG.org earlier. Great resource for sunscreens and body care products, and then using essential oils, vinegar, baking soda, lemon juice, lemon for cleaning is a nice, and you can Google that stuff and see lots of recipes. Some of you already know, if you're patients here, but we help with symptoms based on helping the organs work better and helping fix nutritional deficiencies. This actually corrects the symptom. So we're not masking symptoms. We're not just putting a Band-Aid over it and saying like, okay, now go about, now your blood pressure is lower because we put a Band-Aid on it. We're actually fixing the reason it's happening. So someone's blood pressure is high because their kidneys aren't functioning well, then we fix the kidneys, we get them doing better, then the blood pressure tends to go down. So you're putting in the nutritional support to fix the organ or tissue. Sometimes I play the game with people like, what's your symptom? And then I can tell them what organ or nutritional deficiency they may have. We won't play that game right now because I don't keep you longer than you want to be here. We do muscle testing in this office to assess your needs. It is basically asking very simple yes and no questions of your body. So we push on your arm, we might put things on and off of you, and it's a way for us to ask very simple questions. It's how we know what to give you. So it's an assessment tool in this office. Our toolbox, I guess, is the muscle testing. Our tools are supplements. It's whole food supplements, it's herbs, it's some homeopathic things, it's things we know will help correct the organ function. So those are the tools in our toolbox, and then our methods are our muscle testing to assess. So if you're watching me online, I appreciate you watching. Please like and share this video, and if you have any questions about our office or would be interested in our distance patient program, if you don't live close, give us a call. Hopefully you can see the number on the screen, and like and share, and thanks for watching.